Hey there, welcome to the channel. My name is Sue. If you've not been here before, I have been eating a carnivore diet now for the last 2.5 years. I will be turning 61 in about 2 months' time, and today I'm talking about the anti-aging effects that I have experienced personally on the carnivore diet. But when I saw this, it's amazed me. You can see my legs have changed shape. My torso has definitely changed shape. My boobs are perkier. So here I have a photograph of me that was taken back in 2022, around the time that I started eating a carnivore diet. I mean, you can see now what I look like. A little bit sunburnt because I've been out in the sun the last couple of days. We actually had some sunshine for 2 days in a row here in New Zealand, and now it's raining and cold again, and typical New Zealand weather, but got a little bit of sun, which was great. So as I said, this is me 2.5 years ago when I started on the carnivore diet. And although when I put this photograph up before, people have said, get the occasional disparaging comments saying, yeah, but you've got grey hair there and now you've got colour in your hair, which I do, obviously. I have some colour in my hair. But if you look at my face and at my skin and looking at the difference there, you can see, I mean, what I see is that my eyes are much more open now. I have less inflammation in my face. I'm not as sallow and kind of saggy around my jawline. My skin is a lot better, and I'm a lot more defined as well in my jaw and everything than I was. I've lost a little bit of weight on the carnivore diet, but I haven't lost a lot. If you go back and look at my recent videos, I'm kind of talking about that fact that my weight loss has been so slow, and I'm kind of getting a little bit frustrated with it. But you can see in that photograph, between that photograph and what you can see here on the video now, there is quite a difference in my face and in my features. Now, there's something that's just happened recently that's really kind of spurred me to make this video, because I've had a very pleasant surprise just recently when I did something else to kind of try and measure my results, even with my lack of weight loss. But I will get to that very shortly. Now, this photograph here is from when I was just before I turned 50 years old, so a few weeks off turning 50. And the difference between there and 8 years later is also quite marked. And so, you know, people might look at that and go, well, how come you deteriorated so much in 8 years? When I turned 50, I had been, I just lost a pile of weight because I'd been doing the HCG diet, and I was pretty happy with the way that I was looking, not so happy with the way I was feeling. My health wasn't the best, but I was happy with the way I was looking. And, you know, I was thinking I was doing okay for 50, but then we moved from Australia back to New Zealand, and my health kind of tanked fairly quickly. I had mold exposure in the building that I was working in, and then that, along with, I think, just the change of diet between living in Queensland and living in New Zealand, and the lack of sunshine, being inside more, and maybe a bit of stress and stuff. There's probably a few things that have gone into it, have all kind of compounded to cause me some problems, obviously. So I think that, you know, with the mold exposure and everything, I think there's been some probably mitochondrial damage, and my body just wasn't functioning well. And so by the time I started eating the carnivore diet, my health was pretty bad. I had a lot of things going on that I was kind of really worried about, and I've spoken about those in past videos. So if you've not seen my earlier videos, you can go and check those out. I had a lot of things that changed really quickly when I started eating a carnivore diet, and that's what kept me there, even though I had a lot of problems as well. But overall, my health has continued to improve and improve on this way of eating, and I feel like I'm aging backwards, which is pretty damn cool. So the thing that's kind of spurred this video along is I have been complaining, especially in the last couple of videos, about my lack of weight loss on the carnivore diet. Now, a lot of people go into carnivore and they lose weight really quickly and easily, but not all of us have that experience, and I'm one of those. I have lost a little bit since I've been eating this way, a few kilos, not a whole lot. I'm down a couple of dress sizes though, so I knew that there's been some body recomposition happening, even without really doing very much exercise. And I can kind of see in the mirror that my body shape has been changing a little bit, but it was really bugging me that the scales weren't moving. Over the last 12 months, it seems like I've been pretty much stalled and just kind of going up and down the same couple of kilos, up, down, up, down, up, down, and nothing much changing. The only thing that's really changed on the scales has been my body fat's gone down a little bit and my visceral fat's gone down a little bit. So earlier this year, my sister was over here on holiday and she told me about an app called Me360. And so I downloaded the app, and what it does is it does a body scan. It works out from your height on the scan, everything, all your measurements. It estimates your body fat, estimates your lean body mass, and gives you a visual representation of your body and body shape, basically. And so I did the scan, and I remember looking at my body shape and just being like, oh God. And hubby put it on his phone and he did a scan as well. And then I think we both must have just deleted it off the phone and didn't think about it again. So recently that app had kind of popped back into my mind, and I thought, oh, maybe I should give that another go and just see if, you can see that anything's changed, because, I can see that there's a little bit that's changed, but I don't really think that there's a whole lot that's changed, but maybe a little bit. And then it slipped my mind again, and then somebody in a comment on one of my videos mentioned the app, and I thought, I'm going to download that and try doing this body scan again. So I did that a couple of days ago. And this is the images that I got from the app. So as you can see here, this is the front view of my body, and you can see that the image that was done, the scan that was done in February 18th, 2024, and then the recent one, December 14, 2024. So there's 10 months between these images. I was blown away at the difference because that's not what I see. I know, I'm really aware that I have this kind of body dysmorphia thing going on where I just see the same thing all the time, which is something that I don't really like. But when I saw this, it's amazed me. I was aware looking in the mirror that I had more of a waist than I had. But everything else just kind of seemed to be the same. But here, you can see my legs have changed shape. My torso has definitely changed shape. My boobs are perkier. And my neck is longer. That's what I saw when I saw these images. And then I realized that in this compare mode, if I scroll across, I can flick it around to a side image and the back image. And when I looked at the side image, this made me really, really happy and blew me away. The difference in my belly, for a start, and my perky boobs. My butt. I've grown a butt. I don't see that in the mirror. I don't see it. But looking at this, it definitely looks like I've grown a butt, which is awesome. And I can see the difference in my legs as well. The bulging out at the front of my quads in February. That's a very lipedema thing. So I have lipedema. And if you don't know what that is, you can go and Google it and find out what it is. It's a fat disorder, maybe an insulin disorder. It's that kind of causes inflammatory fat in your body that's hard to shift. And that bulging quad is one of the signs of lipedema. So as you can see, that's changed in the December image. And the thing that really made me happy, that really blew me away, is that I am so much straighter. My head is nowhere near as far forward in my posture. So you can see in the February image that my head is sitting quite far forward, and I had that kind of dowager hump thing happening, and I was aware of that. I had been hoping that I had straightened up. I actually tried on a dress a few weeks ago that used to kind of trail on the ground, and it wasn't trailing on the ground. And I joked with hubby and said, oh, maybe Maybe I've got taller, and then I was like, maybe I've got straighter, I don't know. But I have, looking at this, you can see I've got straighter and my head is much more sitting on my shoulders upright rather than being pushed forward, which is an indication as well of the change in visceral fat. So Sean O'Mara talks about that with his research, and the when your visceral fat reduces, you tend to become more upright. And some people might say, oh well, it's this because you've been exercising. I have been doing some exercise, but it hasn't been particularly consistent, and I haven't been really doing any weight training or anything. It's just been a bit of aerobics, a little bit of yoga here and there, and it has still been kind of fairly sporadic. So the exercise might have made some change, but it's the diet. And then if I turn around to the back image, this also made me happy because in the first one in February, I looked at my butt and I was like, oh my Lord, it's horrendous. Now it's not quite so horrendous, and I haven't got so much fat up around my rib cage. And yeah, as I said, you can see that my legs have kind of changed a bit, and my head and my neck is definitely looking a lot more straighter, and my neck is looking longer. So I am more than happy with the changes that I see in these images. And then underneath, when you use this app, it estimates your body fat, it estimates your lean mass. It's estimating that my body fat has gone down, it's estimating that my lean mass has gone up. It tells me that my waist has gone down by 10 centimetres, my hips only by 1 centimetre, my calves have gone down by about 3 centimetres. My quads have gone up slightly according to that, so that kind of surprised me, but it might be muscle. It says that my biceps have gone up by a centimetre or two, a couple of centimetres I think it was, and my bust had gone down. So I am really happy with that. I'm going to keep using this app because it gives as you saw, an amazing visual representation of the changes in your body that you just might not be seeing yourself, and obviously in my case. So as I said, on my scales, that was what was frustrating me, was that my weight hasn't been shifting, and I have weight to lose. Obviously, I'm estimating probably 20 kilos, although it could be less than that, depending on how much muscle I've got on underneath here, so I don't really know, but I'm picking about 20 kilos to get back to where I kind of really like to be. But the scales, I've got a set of Tanita scales. I'll link to those below the video if you want to check those out. They're handy to have. They're not 100% accurate, but they give you let you see if things are changing, and so my body fat has gone down a little bit over the last 12 months, maybe 2 or 3% according to the scales, depending on the day, sometimes down as much as 5% on kind of where I was 12 months ago. And my visceral fat has gone down, so it measures your visceral fat. I was sitting at about 14 or 15 when I started on the Carnivore Diet. Now it tells me I'm between 11 and 12. Some days it's 11, some days it's 12. So the visceral fat I kind of knew was heading in the right direction, but even that hasn't changed a whole lot according to the scales in the last 12 months, maybe gone down by 1 point or something like that, because I think it might have been 13 at the beginning of the year, and now it's kind of down to 11. But yeah, this app I absolutely love, and hubby did his as well, and he's slim, always kind of has been. He got a little bit chubby when he was in his 50s, but not too drastically so. But then he had actually lost a lot of muscle and weight because we did a vegan stint before he started on the Carnivore Diet, and all his muscle fell off and his arms got really wrinkly and skinny, just basically bone and wrinkly skin on his arms. They're gradually filling out. He's not carnivore as such because he still eats sourdough bread, but then I'm not 100% strict either. I go through phases where I have fermented veggies and phases where I have berries. So, it's not, I have patches where I'm just animal products and then patches where I'm having those couple of little extra things in there. But he's getting benefits from this way of eating as well. And when we did his scan, I really didn't think there would be much difference in his, but there actually is. I'll see if I can steal his picture to pop up here so you can see the differences in him as well. And it's funny because we were down at his mum's, not this weekend, just gone the weekend before, and with his whole family because it was his mum's 90th birthday. And his older sister, he overheard her saying to his mum, doesn't Raymond look good? Like he's looking really straight and upright and fit and healthy. And so, that's a good thing because they hadn't seen us for a while. And yeah, he's pretty upright and straight. His brothers are all getting quite hunched, and he's not. So the anti-aging effects of this diet are amazing. So why does this way of eating have these effects? Like why does it work? I mean, we're so brainwashed into the whole plants are the healthiest option kind of thing. This is just this information about disinformation about plants being the healthier food is rife, in society now. There's no discussion about the toxins that are in them. There's no thought about the pesticides that are on them. And these things cause problems. And, plants do have something to offer. As I've said, I still eat some sometimes. But the nutrition in animal products is amazing. We can get everything we need out of animal products in much better amounts and much more human-friendly and bioavailable amounts than we can get in plants. The protein, everyone just kind of thinks of meat as being protein and fat, but it has amazing nutrition in it. And the saturated fat from animals really has benefits for our hormonal health, and hormonal health is really important as we age. There are other things in meat, like in animal products, like taurine. So taurine is an amino acid that's not talked about a whole lot. I've been kind of looking at a bit of information about that. It's not used for muscle building, but it's the most abundant amino acid in our body. Our body actually makes it, but some of us can't make it very well, and as we age it tends to drop. And I have a feeling that taurine is part of the reason for the anti-aging effects of this way of eating. Eating a carnivore or carnivore type diet with no or very small amounts of plants is the natural proper human diet. It's what we're designed to thrive on, and so when we eat it, we do thrive. Things heal, things get better, and there's discussions about how much meat you should be eating versus how much plants and all the rest of it. But I think for each of us, we need to just kind of experiment and see what works for us. And if something's not working, then do a bit of research, make some tweaks, and work it out, because depending on where we're coming from with our health, things can be a little bit different. If you go back through any of my videos, you'll see that I've had a lot of problems. I've had a lot of benefit on the carnivore diet, but I've also had a lot of problems with my body adapting and detoxing. I still have things that go on, but much less than I did in the beginning, and but the benefits outweigh that massively. So we're coming up to January. January is World Carnivore Month. If you are thinking about trying this way of eating, I would say absolutely go for it. There's no better time than to do it in January and see how it affects you, see how you feel. As I said, it can be a little bit bumpy to start with, and that might be something that you need to work through. But my suggestion is always to write down everything that's going on with your health, every single little symptom. If you are getting acne, if you've got eczema, if you get headaches, if you have mood issues, all of these things, write them down and then see what changes when you start eating this way, because it can be really If you've got any comments or questions, pop those below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe, like and share with anyone you think might be interested. I thank you very much for watching and listening to me, and I will talk to you again another day. Goodbye for now.